Imagine turning a corner in the dark, hearing a soft giggle echo behind you, and realizing that the thing you thought you knew, the creature hidden under your childhood fears, is finally showing its true face again. That's exactly the kind of shiver-inducing moment fans felt when Pennywise stepped back into the spotlight in Welcome to Derry. Today, we're diving deep into Episode 5, where the long-awaited reveal arrives with a mix of dread, shock, and pure horror craftsmanship. Bill Skarsgård returns as the infamous clown, and the creators behind the series finally unleash the moment audiences have been craving. But this isn't just any reveal. It's a careful, slow-burn entrance designed to keep viewers holding their breath, unsure of when the terror will finally pounce. And when it does, it hits with a wave of nostalgia, brutality, and the unsettling grin that has haunted generations of fans. The creators, Andy and Barbara Muschietti, along with co-showrunner Jason Fuchs, knew exactly what they were doing. They wanted Pennywise to hover over the season like a shadow, always hinted at, never fully seen, until the perfect moment. Barbara even compared the approach to Jaws, a monster you barely glimpse until that one unforgettable scene. That strategy builds anticipation, and by the time Skarsgård finally appears, the tension is stretched tight enough to snap. The episode follows the kids as they reconnect with Maddie, or rather, what looks like Maddie. The confusion is immediate. He appears scared, vulnerable, almost believable, until the cracks start forming. Viewers know something is wrong, but the kids don't. And that imbalance makes the scene crackle with discomfort. When Maddie leads them toward the sewers, every step feels like a descent into something worse than death. Inside the depths of Derry, the tone shifts from eerie mystery to psychological collapse. The children pop their so-called mommy's little helpers, hoping to numb their fear. But instead, they tumble into chaotic hallucinations that distort reality. Shapes twist, voices echo, the sewer water seems alive, and as the delirium rises, Maddie begins circling a pole, humming a tune that feels both childlike and horrifying. It's here the truth slams down. Maddie's body ripples, his face elongates, and slowly, impossibly, Pennywise emerges, complete with that chilling grin and rows of razor teeth. It's a moment built on dread rather than surprise, and that deliberate pacing makes it explode with impact. For longtime fans, seeing Skarsgård slip back into the character feels like watching a nightmare you thought you escaped crawl right back into your mind. But the Pennywise reveal isn't the only horror in the episode. The adults above ground are facing their own unraveling. Leroy, furious that he brought his family to Derry without knowing the truth, finally sees the monster's reach. His guilt grows heavier with every step through the sewers, as he confronts illusions that play directly on his deepest fears. At one moment, he believes he sees his wife Charlotte running toward him. Her voice trembles with emotion, but then she contorts into a jagged-toothed creature, lunging forward before Leroy fires. When the illusion fades, nothing remains, only silence, water, and the sinking dread that he might have taken a life that never existed at all. This blending of hallucination and reality reinforces just how merciless it can be, manipulating every weakness and every shred of hope. Meanwhile, the kids' journey becomes a hallucinatory nightmare. Ghost-like images of their dead friends appear, floating just above the surface of the water. Their bodies stare silently, their pale faces illuminated by dim light. The horror grows thicker as Maddie, now Pennywise, fully shifts into the clown we know, singing in a mocking, rhythmic voice as he circles them like prey. The kids bolt, sprinting toward what they think is rescue, only to find Leroy and Polly waiting with weapons aimed into the dark. Here the show pulls a brutal twist. Leroy, still trapped in his hallucination, mistakes his son for another illusion. Polly sees the truth and tries desperately to stop him. As Leroy pulls the trigger, Polly yanks the barrel toward himself, taking the bullet meant for the boy. sacrificing his life in an instant of courage and heartbreak. Polly's death lands like a punch, quiet, sudden, and devastating. His loyalty and clarity made him a grounding force, and watching him collapse in Leroy's arms is one of the episode's most painful moments. Leroy's expression shatters as he realizes what he's done. His friend lies dying because Pennywise manipulated his senses. The tragedy reinforces one of the show's deeper themes. It rarely kills directly. Instead, it pulls strings, nudges doubt, twists emotions, and lets humans destroy themselves. This moment leaves the group broken, terrified, and forced to face the reality that their battle isn't just with a monster. They're fighting their own minds. And somewhere in the shadows, Pennywise watches, amused and hungry, waiting for the next emotional fracture he can exploit. As the kids scramble through the dark tunnels, separated, drugged, and terrified, Lily becomes isolated from the group. Her flashlight flickers across dripping walls, every corner whispering a new threat. When Pennywise finally appears before her, he stretches words like taffy, "Too bad, so sad," in a tone that mixes amusement with cruelty. She backs against the wall, trembling, bracing for death. But something unexpected happens. The clown pauses, his smile fades, and then, with a sudden stillness, he closes his mouth and vanishes. The silence that follows feels almost wrong, as if the world itself is holding its breath. Then the camera reveals the reason: a glowing pillar resting in the water at Lily's feet. This mysterious object has power over the creature, enough to make it retreat, and its presence hints at ancient forces buried beneath Derry. These pillars, artifact-like structures hidden beneath the town, are becoming central to the story. The military, stumbling through the sewers with their own guides, believes the pillars may be the only way to control it. Their operation is frantic, desperate, and riddled with mistrust. Daniel and Dick Halloran guide them, each using their connection to the supernatural fabric of Derry to navigate the labyrinth. Every turn reveals more evidence that this creature has ruled over the town for generations. Children vanish, adults break, memories fracture, and within that chaos, the pillars glow faintly, as if responding to some deeper pulse in the earth. The military doesn't fully understand what they're hunting, but they know one thing: if they fail, Derry might never escape Pennywise's grasp. The stakes rise as hallucinations intensify. Dick Halloran, however, understands more than anyone else. His spiritual abilities let him sense the creature's intentions, and the deeper he travels into the sewers, the more it tries to invade his mind. By the episode's end, Dick emerges from the woods, exhausted and shaken, following a phantom version of Polly, leading him to safety, or perhaps into another trap. Halloran's lockbox, a powerful mental tool passed down through generations, has been cracked open by the creature. That lockbox held some of his most dangerous memories, along with the spirits he had sealed away. Seeing it broken is a chilling sign that Pennywise has breached his deepest defenses. It suggests the clown is evolving, growing more cunning, and preparing to unleash horrors that even Dick isn't ready to face. Through all this, Bill Skarsgård's performance stands out as a terrifying return to form. Jason Fuchs teased that the series would allow Skarsgård to explore parts of Pennywise that the films didn't have time to show, and Episode 5 delivers on that promise. His movements, his voice, and even the way he tilts his head feel more unpredictable than ever. He shifts from playful to predatory in seconds, and every expression seems designed to unsettle. What makes his appearance even more impactful is the restraint used to get there. By delaying the reveal, the creators ensure that every second of screen time feels meaningful. Pennywise's presence isn't just visual, it's psychological. And now that he has fully entered the story, the tone of the entire season has changed. The slow burn has ignited. What's especially intriguing is how the show intertwines emotional trauma with supernatural horror. The kids aren't just running from a monster. They're confronting grief, guilt, broken families, and secrets buried beneath their town. Pennywise feeds on fear, but in this series, fear comes from more than a clown lurking in the dark. It comes from unstable parents, lost friends, and the creeping suspicion that Derry itself is alive and hostile. Every hallucination reveals something deeper about each character's psyche, peeling back layers of vulnerability. And the show uses that vulnerability to heighten the terror. By the time Pennywise reveals himself, viewers understand that it doesn't just hunt individuals, it hunts entire histories. As the season heads into its final 3 episodes, the tension is sharper than ever. Pennywise is no longer a distant threat. He's here, fully manifested, unpredictable, and watching every move the kids make. The pillars promise answers, but also raise more questions. Dick's broken lockbox suggests that it is growing stronger. Leroy's grief is spiraling. The kids are wounded, terrified, and divided. And somewhere in the shadows of Derry, Pennywise is preparing his next act. The creators promised a story that expands the mythology, deepens the fear, and gives Skarsgård new depths to explore. Episode 5 delivers all of that, and now the real terror begins. So buckle up, because Derry is about to reveal more secrets, more nightmares, and more of the clown who thrives on your fear.